Thank you so much for being here. My name is Ashley. I'm a homeschool mom to 3 kids. I've been homeschooling my kids for about 10 years. I almost said 3 years. But that's not true. It's 3 kids, 10 years. And I'm a Charlotte Mason inspired homeschool mom, as well as I love inspiring other homeschool moms who are scatterbrained and easily distracted. So in my last video, I shared about our update for term 1 on how language arts and math was going for each of my 3 kids. And in this video, I want to share with you the history and the science and the morning time. So excited. Are you excited? If you're like me, you get super excited to plan your homeschool, and then you have an amazing plan, and in your head, you're like,
this is gonna be amazing.
And then you get into homeschooling, and then you get into reality, and you see how it actually is. And your reality doesn't really match up with what you had planned. What do? do you pull out your hair and think, what is going on? Why in the world am I doing this? Are those other thoughts that go through your head? That is what goes through my head. So we're gonna talk about that today. And I shared in an earlier video, earlier this school year, that I really needed to simplify. Like last year, I just had too many things and I was so overwhelmed. There was a lot of things that got dropped just because I couldn't do it. And sometimes I'm just trying to squeeze a lot in, and our family doesn't really get to the basics and things that we have to get done. So let's start with morning time. For this year, I decided to go with cycle 4 from A Gentle Feast morning time. Oh, and it's been so great. I do love it. I love this resource. The only thing that has happened is with our schedule, because we're involved in a co-op every other week, I also help do a mom's group every other week and piano lessons, things like that, just life. Because of that, we're not getting to morning time every day. Also, with my daughter, my 7th grader, she has quite a bit on her plate. She is doing a lot of things at her level, and her level is a bit higher than what my boys are. And in order for her to get them done and not be doing school well into the evening, I really need her to just get started on her schoolwork earlier in the day. Because once we were doing morning time in the morning, it was like 9, 10, 11 o'clock. By the time we really get started, we're just not really fast movers in the morning. So we don't start morning time till about 10, and that goes to about 11. And then she wasn't getting started on school till 11, 12 o'clock. And I felt like, I need to respect her time, and she needs to get into working on her stuff so it doesn't go too far into the afternoon. So I decided we don't do morning time in the morning anymore. So in this season, I do something with the boys. So I do a little history read aloud first thing in the morning after they get ready for the day. So I get some like sit down, read aloud time with the boys, but my daughter goes off and does her thing. But I didn't want to scrap morning time yet. I'm not ready to let it go. Don't let it go. Don't let it go. It's not time to let it go. I wanted to hold on to morning time because to me it's important. These are good things to do. But I had a friend I was talking to, and she said her kids are about 3 years older than mine, and like she has 3 kids, and she's kind of like a stair step, just 3 years ahead of me. And she said, yes, you're about that stage where I had to stop doing morning time because it was hard to get everybody in the same room at the same time. And I said, yeah, you're right. So I considered it, and I was like, I'm not going to drop it. We're just going to move it, and we're going to tweak it, make it super simple, straight to the point, so we can get in, get out, and get on with our day. But I couldn't let it go. So we do it twice a week is about really what we realistically get to it. My goal is 3 times, but some weeks it's only once. So instead of me getting so upset,
oh no, we only did morning time 1 time this week.
Instead of me doing that, I'm trying to just savor the moments that we do get it. And I'm trying to make sure we still make it somewhat of a priority. So I moved it to lunchtime. So we start our day, and then I start my day with the boys, and then they get into their individual schoolwork. My daughter starts and does her stuff. We all take a break about lunchtime, and then everybody is at the table, and that's when we have been doing morning time. We don't necessarily have a lot of time to just sit in it and like we used to when they were little, and we would just go on rabbit trails and like, oh, what about this? What about that? I don't know. We don't have as much time for that, which, it's okay. That's the season we're in. I make sure to prioritize our Bible reading, which we had a great time of our Bible reading today. I really enjoyed it with my kids today. Our memory verse, so Bible reading, memory verse, our hymn is really easy. We just sing it through one time or listen to it. So as far as like the picture study and the composer study, those really are not happening super often, but I still try to keep them in there. I am reading through The Fallacy Detective, and we're going through it very slowly, but we get this about once a week as well. And then we're still trying to stick with geography and do our Draw Asia. So my daughter she goes really quickly with this. So technically I just hand it to her and let her draw as long as she wants to and get as far as she wants, and then she moves on. And then I do a couple of pages each time we do this with the boys. So that's what we do for our morning time. So the other thing they do is either during morning time or while I do a history read aloud, they're doing their handwriting, and I've been having them use Logos cursive, and we've been loving that, and it's going really well, and I like this one. Okay, that was my morning time spiel. Thank you for listening to that. As far as history and science goes, here's how that's working. So I picked ancient history for our time period for this year. This is from Beautiful Feet Books. So I'm using the book list for this. We do some of the activities in here, but really not a lot. I've kind of narrowed it down to just reading the book and talking about it. Every once in a while, they have good ideas on things to look up online or to have further reading. But my main focus is just to do the read alouds. And we finally just finished our first one, which is the Golden Bowl. And that was learning about Mesopotamia and Sumer. And then we're gonna go into ancient Egypt. So I'm really excited. So we're doing ancient Egypt coming up next. Oh, and the other thing with this is I'm only doing this with my 3rd and my 5th grader. My 7th grader is reading Augustus Caesar's World on her own from Genevieve Foster. And she's also getting history from her language arts class, which is medieval history writing-based lessons from her IUW class. So I'm not giving her much extra history because this was too much. She was already doing enough on her own. So I just do this with the boys now. As far as science goes, okay, I've also split them up. We don't do science together anymore, which makes me really sad. Anyway, but it's going well because my 7th grader is using life science from BJU Press, and we have the streaming lessons, and I love it. I love it, I love it, and she loves it. It's such a beautiful textbook, and again, I never thought I would use a textbook for science, but it's going well. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, in the past, we've done a lot of living literature for science and just like exploration. Like she would ask a question and be like, oh, let's go find that answer. Let's go to the library and get books on it. And we did that for a long, long time for her for science. But this is her first like organized type science. And she really likes it. She's learning a lot from it. And she'll tell me like what she's learning. And she'll be like, oh yeah, I learned that in my science class the other day. So I like it because it's another teacher who teaches her. And then she has the quizzes and the tests online, and I can look at those and grade them. And then she has a textbook that she reads from. And there's also some hands-on activities. I did buy the science kit to go with that. I'll talk more about that later and do a little more in-depth review of this. But I just want to let you know it's going well, and we both really like it. So for the boys, I had picked Gentle and Classical Nature, and this is volume 1. So the inland waterways and forests, because this is the type of nature that we live in. We're not near oceans, we're inland, obviously. And we have lots of ponds and lots of lakes around us. So we've been learning about fish, and we've been learning about frogs, I think. So it's been kind of fun just to do a little nature study with them, because I did that a lot, again, with my oldest when she was younger, and I didn't do it as much with the boys. So I've been doing it with the boys now. My 3rd grader has been loving our read aloud for it. We've been doing Old Mother West Wind. He loves the Burgess books. We also read the Bird Book for kids. He really likes that one. So they're just fun, and they talk about animals as if they're characters, and he really loves that. So I read this. I alternate. What I end up doing, here's how I do this. You'll probably ask. I alternate our history read aloud and our science read aloud. So, one day I do this, next time I do this, back and forth on the days that we can. And then we just keep going until we get through them. I try to do the activities about once a week, sometimes every other week. It's not as often as I hoped it would be, but it's just a really pretty book. I really like it. I only printed off like the first section. Like this is unit 1, I think. This is the first unit, I think. Oh no, there's units. These are the first 5 units or something like that. Okay, another update on history. Going back to history, I forgot. So I was gonna try to do a combination of the ancient history as well as modern history because my kiddos haven't gotten a lot of modern history. So what I tried to do was have for my 5th grader, he was doing our ancient history read aloud and things like that. And then he would do Story of the World, Volume 4. And he did that for several weeks. And I had him keep a little lap book journal in his notebook here. And he would just listen to the chapter and then make his notes on these little activity sheet things. But after a while, I was like, I think we're doing too much. We stopped after that, is what happened. And I was like, I think I'm doing too much and something needs to go. And I really think just the way this was happening, I don't think he was retaining a lot. I think it was just kind of like a fire hose of information, and then he would regurgitate the facts on here, and then it'd probably brain dump it afterwards. And I was like, this is not beneficial for my child and for his education or for myself, because it was just a lot of work to print these out and cut them out and help him with it and stuff like that. So I decided to cut that for now, and we're going with something with what we already had. I'm going to stick with the living books for history. And so we've been doing the ancient history for my 5th grader, and he's keeping this notebook here and doing a few activities that go along with our ancient history stuff. So, you know, the coloring the picture and then writing a simple narration. And again, he struggles with the handwriting and the writing, so this is what I made him write. But I think next time he'll dictate to me, so he'll say what he wants to say and I'll just write it, or I'll have him type his little narration, because that seems to help. So, okay, so thank you so much for joining for my term 1 update, and I've got to share with you that I am going to be taking a break from creating content. And I'm doing that all across the board on YouTube, Instagram. I am going to be taking a break because I have been feeling like, why in the world am I doing this? Like, what are my purposes for homeschooling again? I've been kind of feeling lost in some of my homeschool purposes, as well as my purposes for sharing content with you guys. And for what is my purposes for online, and what am I doing and why am I here? What I've decided to do is take about a 30-day fast break. It may end up being a little longer, especially for YouTube, but maybe not as long for the other things. You can find me an email. I will keep up on email, maybe a few times. My goal was once a week, but we're not there yet. We'll see. So if you want to get on my email list, I'll put a link in the description below. I would love for you to join that list, and then I'll try to keep up with writing a few emails once a week, and you can keep in touch with me there if you would like. No pressure though, no pressure. But as far as creating consistent content on YouTube, I need a break. I need to step back, and I need to focus on my family. They need all my energy right now as well. Also, there's been a lot of doors opening for me in person here, and so I need some time and energy to focus on that. So I'm really gonna miss you guys. I've loved sharing with you here at Joyful Noise Learning, and I love getting to know you guys and all the things that you're going through as well with homeschool. But you can be praying for me as I seek the Lord's purposes for my channel and for just being online in general. And I just needed to quiet the noise. You guys know how that is. There are just times you just need to turn it off. And I'm actually getting off a lot of social media and putting my phone down more and just trying to focus on living in person much better. So I would encourage you to do that too. So maybe after you watch this video, go turn off your phone, go put it away, delete YouTube from your phone, and just go be with your kids, because that's what homeschooling is all about, right? I don't want to lose sight of, who I am and as a homeschool mom, especially just in my kids and what they need from me right now. And they need me. They don't need me to be constantly talking to a phone or to a camera or anything. So it's just been a privilege and an honor to be here. I'm not sure what it's going to look like when I come back, or if I do come back. But what I do think I will do is keep up with the quarterly or term updates. I think that I can do, and that's about once every 2 to 3 months, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm gonna go take care of myself, and I'm gonna go take care of my family, And I'm so thankful you are here. Be sure to join my email list if you would like to keep up with me in the meantime. And also in the meantime, I really do pray and hope you go find His joy among the noise, and that you go be a good homeschool mom. Go take care of your kids and go do it well. We can do this. So thank you. See you next time.